Merry Christmas, McLovin,
Merry
and
Christmas.
not yet because we're fixing to get to it. We're not going to get to it yet, but we are going to get to it. There's some big news for McLovin today. Doesn't he look mature? Doesn't he look mature?
Whole year older, huh?
A whole year older. Yeah, McLovin. Well, you'll hear it throughout the show just because even tonight we're celebrating not only a T-Top Christmas party, but yes, McLovin has turned another year older. McLovin, how old are you, and how do you feel just getting up? Is it
uh,
different? Are you impaired at
I'm
all?
I'm 25.
No, you ain't. No, you ain't. Let me tell you something. First of all, let me make sure my mic setting's off. I'm trying to share to the appropriate things, and then we'll kick it off real quick. We don't have a long one today, but when I got a little bit older, McLovin, I started struggling to like not struggling. Let me take that back because that sounds like you're 50. But I just noticed like when you pee, dude, it just takes like you don't
A
know
little
if
bit
you're
longer.
done. You don't know if you're done yet. You're like, God, dog, I better get it. I better not cut it off too early. I'm gonna have to pee in about 15 minutes.
I mean, you hear when I'm playing Rocket League, I gotta go pee.
Yeah, I mean it's a ruthless cycle.
Yeah,
I'm gonna share this right here, and then we're gonna get kicked off, and we're gonna talk about some games, McLovin.
yeah.
But yeah, happy birthday to you. Hey, let's
Thank you,
start
brother.
there.
Thank you.
Let's start there. Let me share this stuff. Let me share this stuff. But yeah, CFP round one. I wish there was a way I could just schedule because I've been getting good at all this. Anyways, so McLovin, let's kick it off. Happy birthday, A. Let's start there. Um,
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
and to everybody else that has not tuned in or decides to watch this later, welcome to T Top Sideline with Peach and McLovin. Yes, it is McLovin's birthday. You'll hear that today throughout the show. Okay, happy birthday to you, McLovin.
Thank you, brother.
Real quick, if you haven't liked and subscribed, go ahead and do so. Smash that notification button so you can see when the boys are going on all day, every day. But before we hurt some feelings, McLovin, before we hurt some feelings, happy
Yeah.
birthday. Once again,
Thank you.
formally,
Thank you.
brother, you're a great friend. Next year or this year, hopefully, is full of, I almost said the different, a wrong word. Prosperous. I almost said promiscuous. Oh, make sure it's prosperous, brother. Anyways, how was the start of your weekend? How was your work week leading up to, and then we'll get into some college football.
Yeah. It was definitely a week. Definitely a week.
They let you off a little bit of what? You got off at
Uh,
4 though yesterday, so that's early.
yeah. It was
For you.
early. It was good. It was good.
All
How was your
right.
work
So
week?
my work week was horrific. It was actually horrific, and now we're here. So let's not even get on the work. Let's get on what could be worse. And we're gonna start out
Yep.
McLovin with that game that we watched last night, Oklahoma and Alabama.
Mm,
Now let's set the tone here a little bit, my friend. Okay, so
yeah.
last year Oklahoma ruins in the South. They say ruins, right?
Burns.
Oklahoma ruins Alabama's chances to the playoffs last year.
Yep.
Okay, Alabama goes to that stadium, doesn't score a single touchdown, one field goal, 24-3. That was the final score. Then we go this year, and Oklahoma has a really good game at Bryant Denny, and they look
Hmm.
dominant. Did they in that game? Would they convince me that they were going to win again this game? Absolutely not. I thought it was going to be a tough game. And Oklahoma gets to win in Alabama. Now here's the deal, McLovin. What was your take going into this game? Because I thought I was on the edge. I was on the edge for Oklahoma, and then seeing them teed up, and then
Yeah.
seeing them go up 17 points. But we'll get there in a minute. What was your take going into this game?
I thought Oklahoma was going to beat them. Plain and simple. You're at home. Home field advantage is a big thing in college football, and you should have won the game. You're up 17-0.
Let's go. Hunter Hunter's a Duck fan. Hunter's got his who y'all playing again today, Hunter? Should we even acknowledge that on the show?
They're JMU, I think.
JMU. But no, dude, they start the game in Oklahoma in their offense. Oklahoma's offense, it kind of reminded me of more of a not it was a better Oklahoma offense. Let's just say that because they were actually had consistency, moving the ball.
Oh, definitely.
Defense had Ty Simpson confused. They were getting pressured at Ty Simpson. I thought that was the recipe. Alabama doesn't have a run game,
Yeah.
and that's still going to be an issue moving forward because once they kind of sold out to the pass, I would say a little bit more. I think that was kind of it. That's what kind of piece because they started making some of those explosives and switching the field position. And I'm going to tell you, brother, I'm going to be real honest with you. Look, happy birthday. Happy birthday. Be real honest. Look at this shirt, Hunter. Look at this shirt. Take a picture of that shirt, homie. Take a picture.
Homie. Homie.
I'm going to be real honest with you. Arch Manning is the dude that can run in the middle. They have got to get away. To me, like there's no run game for Oklahoma either. If you look at it, besides John Mateer. I wonder how many times they ran him on last night. Like as far as I'm pulling up the stats right now, and McLevin, forgive me, it should already been pulled up. But still, I'm sitting here thinking, I'm like, bro, it was obvious that he was going up the middle, like any kind of short yardage down. It was John Mateer going up the middle, and I don't know if John Mateer is not the biggest dude, okay, but it was that was their run game, and I think through the course, especially you could even say through the course of the first half because they started stubbing their toe. I think what was Oklahoma? It was 17-7, so Oklahoma had 17 like. Was that at the end of the first quarter? Let me see the score. Yeah, no. They had got 17 just at the top of the second quarter, and from there, 24 points. You scored a touchdown for the rest of the game.
Yeah,
my Alabama took off, brother. Let me see how many yards John Mateer had. He had 19 carries for 15 yards. That's what I'm talking about. And I didn't even look at the stat for that.
That's bad.
19 carries for 15 yards.
They had over 300 passing yards. I mean, your pass game's working. Continue with the pass game.
Yeah, I mean, you had Deion Brooks and Centennial, but like I don't know.
And there was a wide open pass. They were up 17-0. It could have been.
That was 24-0. Well, and the bad thing is here's the deal. Let's go back to that pass play, McClellan. Because I don't know, it was like a 3rd and 2, 4th and 2. No, it's 4th and 2, 3rd and 2.
No, it was 3rd and 3, and he had a wide open run to get it, but his wide receiver was wide open. He should have caught it, no questions. You know what I mean?
But hang on. That was also
you kind of have to just take those yards, right?
Yeah, but you got to look, McLevin. That was Xavier Robinson. That's a running back running a fade route. I mean. John Mateer there has probably he's at least getting 20 yards off the run.
Oh, definitely.
So situationally, and OU kind of killed themselves, man. They really did. They let these guys back in it. If you look, obviously the pick, but dude, there was so many instances where whether it be the personal foul, the late hit on the lineman, that killed them.
Yeah.
That put them out of a touchdown. And I believe in the second half there was another thing. There was another play that if that goes right, they get down to their own 10 or 12 or whatever, and he misses the field goal. But that could easily been a touchdown. Come on.
Right.
There was you can't get close and send yourself back and not get points from it. That was. Well, yeah. I guess they got 3 points off of that one, but still, I mean, 3 points out of 14. I don't think Alabama. Now let's talk about Alabama real quick, and we'll move on because I was actually impressed with the wide receivers, the explosives coming alive. But I think that's who Alabama is. They're gonna be a team that lives off explosive plays. McLevin, let me just read you what Alabama's rushing was. We had Daniel Hill, number 4, go 9 for 43. Okay. We had Jam Miller, 7-11. We had Bernard have 0, 1 for 0. And then we had Ty Simpson take it on sacks, but whatever. So that adds up to a whopping total. Alabama had 28 rushing yards, McLovin.
That's crazy.
28 rushing yards. So you see what I mean when I say you live off explosives? The one thing Ty Simpson did, he didn't turn over the football. Oklahoma didn't generate those turnovers that made them so successful a couple of weeks ago when they went to Brian Denny and played them. And I think that was the difference between Oklahoma not taking the advantage of when they were in scoring position. I think the obvious play calling, if you're an Oklahoma fan, you've got to be sitting there wondering, like, hey, why are we running John Mateer again right up the middle? Like, it's not like a power run; it's a zone read. So, but anyways, your take on the game, and we'll move from there. Like I said, I can't believe the turnovers. I didn't see guys punching at the ball, dude. Last game, I was like, holy snap! Like these dudes are like the defense is going to win this game because they're more determined to score than offense because they're trying to punch the ball out. Like it's obvious.
I mean, the almost loss to LSU kind of showed their poise. You know what I mean? Their defense is great. Don't get me wrong, but they didn't play well yesterday.
Now, let me ask you this. Do you think John Mateer is a pro quarterback?
Yes and no.
I know he's a baseball player too, huh?
Right. Yeah. But I mean, he's a good football player. Don't get me wrong. At the start of the season, before the hand surgery, we would have said, "Hey, he's headed towards the Heisman." You know what I mean?
Yeah, but you think it was a hand surgery that whipped him out of that?
I think so. It took it out of him. You could tell, and it was affecting his throws. Last night, it didn't look like it affected his throws. He was throwing really well.
Well, I'm going to tell you the play that, like I said, that's another play. You can add 3 drives because that's another play. That was whether the penalty because the penalty on the lineman number 55, they were moving the ball, and you were like, dang, Oklahoma scores. Here's what's crazy, bro. If OU, I'm gonna look at the timestamp on these because it's kind of going all together of when the scores happen. But if OU at one point puts in literally one touchdown, one more score, Alabama's like it's like 24-0. Like that's
they're deflated.
That's a deficit that, and I'm sitting there telling my father-in-law we're watching this game. I said, dude, it was 10-0. I was like, Alabama can't afford to give up another score because I think, you're at somebody else's place. It's fixing to be a shutout, not a shutout, but it's fixing to look a lot like how Georgia and Alabama looked a couple of weeks because they just can't get nothing going.
Yeah,
but that's why it's playoff football, McLovin.
Sure.
And Alabama moves on, brother. And Alabama moves on. Now, here's some stuff to know about Alabama. So did we pull? Was Oklahoma a fraud? Let me ask you that before, because this is the last time we're going to mention Oklahoma. You don't think they're?
No, they weren't a fraud. They didn't come to play.
Well, they didn't come to play in the second half.
Yeah.
Or
after the first quarter, they stopped playing.
Or adjustments were, like I said, you can't keep running a guy. Look, if I'm a play caller,
bad play calling, 100%.
Yeah. Well, if I'm a play caller and I'm looking down at my court and I'm like, all right, what do we do? Because at some point, McLovin, this man had to look down and sit there and say, okay, Mateer is 18 for 12. Let's run it again.
Yeah.
How does that, I thought Deion Brooks had an amazing game. The number 4 receiver, dude, that catch on the sideline, that dude was playing.
Yeah, he was playing.
Burks was playing. Like seriously. So, anyways, Alabama doesn't have a run game. They're going to live off explosives. Their defense is I'll say good at best. I'm not going to say great. They have a good
No,
defense.
their defense is no.
Okay, got to remember LSU fan on his birthday fitting to hop out the tiger cage and go.
Right there, baby.
Anyways, all right. So, hey, by the way, I did talk to my wife.
Okay.
I talked to her brother too because her brother's interested now. I said, dude, we may all try to slide up there to Houston and go watch this LSU Houston Cougar game.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, anyways, with that being said, let's move on, McLovin, to the next because I know you got to get out of here pretty soon. Let's go. We're just going to cover the top games today because there is Oregon, and I know Hunter is just foaming at the mouth for us to talk about Oregon and JMU. Here's my prediction: Oregon wins by 21. JMU has some fight to them, but it's just too much ducks, too much athletes. Anyways, next game, and that's also the same with Ole Miss and Tulane can get a little bit interesting, McLovin. Do you feel, because we're going to cover this and then we're going to go into the Aggies and we're going to let you out of here. You have anything on the Ole Miss Tulane?
I think it's gonna be a dogfight.
Okay.
Don't take Tulane lightly. Tulane's got a great head coach. Like seriously, like that was my second
he's still
choice.
coaching though. They're going to let him coach to the playoffs.
Yeah, they're going to let him coach to the playoffs. Yeah,
Something wrong? Okay.
That is a good coach. That was my second choice if we wouldn't have got Kiffin. So
okay, so you're saying Tulane makes it interesting, but
no, they're going to make it interesting. But Ole Miss, I don't know.
You just got
your head coach. Without your head coach, that's got you all the way there.
Yeah, but to some extent, you kind of you got to feel some type of way as a player.
Ole Miss's defense is bad, so it's a 50-50 shot. You could pick either team to win, honestly.
Well, yeah, I'm right there with you. Well, let's go on to this A&M and Miami game because I know a lot of Texans, a lot of people.
Miami by 50.
They want to hear it. That's what I'm saying, bro. Take them out. Anyways, so 11 o'clock today, Kyle Field. There's been a lot of posts going around saying, well, Miami hasn't even played in front of 100,000 all season, so they don't even know the smoke that's fixing to come for them. Yeah. Well, here's what I don't like is I feel like every time I watch A&M, I saw this against Texas, whether it was the lineman I think he was kind of riffing back and forth with Colin Simmons and saying something about how they're not childs because they're kids because they don't, put plant flags or whatever. And I saw a quote from Ruben Owens, and he was given the dynamic of the defense run. They asked him a question saying Miami's got a pretty good run defense. Well, how do you feel, like going into this game, knowing that's what you want to do, and the team across from you has a recipe to stop it. Yeah, and he casually was like, well, it's not going to be a challenge. It's not going to be a challenge. You look at the Mizzou game.
Right.
We had 400 yards. I said, why didn't you say Texas, big dog? Why don't you say you looked at the Texas game when you had like 62 yards rushing? That's an Aggie, dude. That's an Aggie right there. Anyways, Miami has a good defense. Let's just be clear. Miami, this is where it gets interesting. Miami has a good run defense. They don't really have a good run game. Or not, subpar.
They have some wide receivers that can get it, though. Tony. Oh, man. Tony's such a freaking dynamic player. He's going to be great. He's going to be in the NFL in a few years. I mean, he's...
Yeah, that dude, I'm hoping to see...
18 years old.
Can we be clear, McLovin, on your birthday? Did we both just come be Miami fans today?
Yes, 100%.
Dang it. All right, anyway.
Carson Beck's my boy. Carson Beck's my boy.
Yeah, well, I think that's the thing that I'm going to give. I think Carson Beck has seen or saw whatever. Well, I'm from a man from Texas. Forgive me for my pronunciation, but he's been here before, and he's been in big games. He's seen big crowds. He's been told he's not a football player, and then he comes back and beats teams by 4 touchdowns. So he fluctuates a little bit, but Carson Beck's not new to this, and that's going to be the guy that's running the offense for
the last 4 weeks. He's looked great. So
That's
we're
the
gonna
thing,
see.
though. That's the thing, though, too. Is like that's why I didn't give, and maybe we should look more into OU, but Alabama hasn't looked great.
No.
On a different note, Miami has looked really good,
Yeah.
and I think with Tooney, and then if they can get a run game going at all, they've got some. Like I said, they got some weapons on the outside, but A&M. That's my thing. A&M, you saw that you can run a zone. You can successfully run zone on them. So maybe that's what Miami tries to set up. But like I said, I'm excited to see him and Tooney. That
Yeah.
like that dude. That dude's gonna be. I'm with you, dude. He's gonna be a stud.
Oh
But anyways, last thing on that game, I guess I'm gonna give my pick since that didn't happen. We're just looking ahead.
yeah.
I think it's gonna be electric, but if Miami can have a presence at the line to where Marcel Reed in the run game doesn't get going and gets pressured, that's when you see Kyle Field get quiet.
Yeah.
And I think Carson Beck, like I said, Carson Beck's his heart rate's not going to be up as much as most quarterbacks. Let's just say that.
Right. He's been
So
here.
I'm
He
going to
knows what
pick.
is expected.
I'm going to pick. I'm going to say Miami 27, A&M 21.
Miami.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I think the score. Like I said, Miami 27, A&M 21. I think you have
That's
some
good.
explosives from Concepcion. You may even have a big run bust. Nah, you ain't gonna. No, I'm not even gonna say a big run bust. Yeah, you may have a Russian touchdown for A&M, but I think Carson Beck goes in there calm and collective and finds a way to settle in, and then you have guys like Tooney that make explosives. But I think it's going to be a pick. I think Miami's defense is going to generate a turnover in a bad spot of the field for A&M, and I think that's what's going to be the space. So I'm going Miami, McLovin. Let's get your take, and we're going to get you out of here, my man, and get to that
All right.
Christmas party.
I also got Miami. I'm going to say
Right on.
31-28.
31-28.
Yep.
Okay, high scoring, not a low scoring, not a defensive game by any means. But look, anyways, well, so that was our quick picks today. We're probably going to be on. We got both throughout the week. For sure, we'll be on to react sooner than later. Hopefully, we got to find a way to get this thing tackled before we get into the brutal work week. And this week is not even work, McLovin. It's family events. I just heard I had 8 Christmases.
Goodness.
I mean, talk about drag a man through the mud. But anyways, once again, McLovin, it's your birthday. Happy birthday. God bless
you,
you,
brother.
you little tiger,
Sir.
you little
Yes, sir.
Bayou Bengal.
Tiger.
Good. Yeah. So next time we will react to hopefully, Miami victory if your play callers here. OU disappointed Brent
on.
Venables. Dang,
You
you got to do
got to
something.
be Alabama.
John
be
Mateer,
Alabama.
19 for 15 rushing yards, and you kept running them. Disappointed. Other than that, McLovin, this is the TTOP sideline with Peach and McLovin. Always tell them where to find us, McLovin.
You can find us on TikTok, Facebook, YouTube. You know it. We're there. We're about to get an X.
Yeah, we do.
So be looking out.
Yeah. Anyways, God bless you. Until next time, we got a T-Top Christmas party. So, like I said, if you haven't already, like, share, and subscribe, and you can come see some pictures. Maybe we do a whole lot of stuff. A game. We're just if you ever were curious of what this is, we're a group of bros, and about 3 of us really like college football. So we spun it off. We spun it off. That's why you see the network, because the network full of people, different ideas, different interests, and we pursue those. God bless you. I hope you have a Merry Christmas. We will be on here before Christmas.
Yes.
McLovin, happy birthday. Thank you, buddy. We'll see you in a bit.
Sir.